welcome to another episode of Meet the Team at G100. This is Kubra, Belgium chair, and today I'm thrilled to have a special member who is very experienced in our community. Welcome, Bridget. How are you today?
Thank you, Kubra. It is such an honor and a delight to be with you here and to meet everyone today.
I'm so excited because you know better than many people what G100 is. You are experienced, so I'm excited to hear all your sharings in advance. But first, let's start who you are. Give us a little bit taste of what you do and who you are, please.
Thank you. Absolutely. So, by occupations, I am a grief specialist, trauma response, and life success coach. And with such a delight and an honor, I am also the United States National Chair of Global Networking G100.
Awesome. So nice to hear that. There are very interesting things you shared about grief and everything. Could you please tell us how you ended up with this job and how your story brought you here? Would love to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. My formal training is actually in medicine. I am a board certified veterinarian medical oncologist. And at the same time, I have been helping people with grief for more than 25, 30 years, longer than the time I have been in oncology. And that is because of my own life experience, what brought me into grief. I experienced grief since I was 5 years old or maybe younger, and a multitude of them. And so the moment I am able to have enough awareness, I put in a lot of time trying to help myself. And in the meantime, I learned what does not work and causes more harm, and what's helped a little bit, and as well as what helped greatly. And with that, I think it's my calling to be able to help people. I started helping people the best I can, moment to moment. And at some point, along with that, growing up in certain Asian community, it's basically you grow up, you're given the options of, do you want to become a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer?
Yeah, we had the same. I know the feeling.
And I cannot comprehend anything that's in term of law or any I can't remember anything like that. And I'm not passionate about engineers. So of course, in term of helping people, doctors is just the best option. As well as I love animals, I love pets, and so that's brought me to become veterinarian, and then with my understanding about grief and how it impacted us physically in addition to emotionally, and on my understanding along the way to help me heal myself, my understanding and my skill in energy medicine and so forth, brings me to oncology. And so occupations wise, it's been a beautiful evolutions that from with the grief. And at some point I do them both side by side, and now full back working as a grief coach, a grief specialist, as well as a trauma coach and life success coach.
I think all are connected, trauma, grief, and life success. Because for me, if someone doesn't face with their grief, actually, if they don't go over their process, they're not able to go through life. Like they're not able to start something new and start living in this life and success and bring their potential out. So, for example, most of your clients, which kind of grief process they are going through? I'm asking this to understand who should come to you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
facing their grief process.
Thank you. Yes, and firstly, I would absolutely agree with you. It's a lot of time we hear the term glass ceiling. where we seems to just either that or we self-sabotage. This another familiar term for many people. And what people don't realize is, and sometimes people been, and the majority, to answer the second part of your question, the majority of my clients been through therapy, psychotherapy, counseling, mindset coaching. And they say, yeah, now something missing, something's just still not working. Yes, I took 3 steps forward, something happened, and I took five steps back. Or I'm very successful. I have this and I have this, I have this, I have this. I just not able to feel joy. And that's usually because something happened, and perhaps it's not something that's in your memory right now, because as human, we have the ability to, as a survival skill, we have the ability to forget things that we cannot, or we believe we cannot do anything about. And many people I just can't feel the fulfillment. I just don't feel joy. I feel like there's a void in my life, even though I have all these cars, this house, this all these other things in life, and these people in my life. I still don't feel the closeness. And so that is something that definitely grief can hinder us from being able to live our fullest life. And with me the in general, any of the 40 different causes of grief, I'm trained and skilled and experienced to help after 25 years. A lot of time, the clients who particularly love working with me are the one do by training. I am a specialist in the complex, complicated grief. In other words, you have tried therapies, you have tried this, and you're still crying. You've tried group, you are still crying. Or you still feel this void. You still, or that something you thought you moving forward, and then now it's like one after physical illness, because grief do cause incompletely resolved grief cause physical illness. So you still having all this physical challenge. It goes from the lack of joy. A lot of clients say, so it goes from the lack of joy, and now it's one after another physical challenges. So that is something that I use is a what I call the multimodality system. From your work, you understand this, Kubra. Grief is not only emotion, it is multi-dimensions, really. It's affected our heart, our mind, our body cellularly, and our energy as well. And so I use a multimodality. And I'm also being a trauma response. I'm also very trained and skilled in helping people in loss, but also traumatic loss, type of loss. So typical sudden unexpected loss of a loved one, or something in life that is traumatizing, and people who has what we call the PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder syndrome, and they have tried so many different things, including new technologies like EMDR, and they still not completely resolve. Those people, please know, if you are your loved one experiencing this, there is hope. And those are something that I'm very trained and skilled for.
Oh, it is very deep and it is very important to share because it is hopeful. We most of the time feel like when we are facing with grief, we feel like it will never end. We will never get back to our life. We will always remain like this. But I think it is important for people to see that there is hope for all of us. Actually, you know that saying, forgetting is the curse of humanity. At the same time, it is the blessing of the humanity. So I totally agree with that. And let me share with you what I understand to clarify. So can we say that people who face with sudden loss, they should go over this grief process and they can reach you out to get the right support? And can we also say the same thing, as we have the ability to forget, um, we might not remember a loss, and it doesn't have to be a big loss all the time. Maybe it can be a breakup. I remember one of my clients, she came and she was sharing like about her feelings about her boyfriend, and I thought he was dead, but it was only a breakup. So for me, can we say, like, for example, in such situation this person should also go through grief process? Can we say something like that?
Yeah, yeah. Any loss, but grief by definition is the unsettling feelings caused by a loss, a
Mhm.
change, or a hope unmet. And whether it's the loss is reason, or whether a loss is a loss of trust when you were a child that has not been navigated and released fully and completely, that is something that can cause grief and can cause hindrance in your ability to meet your fullest potentials and live your fullest life.
Wow, it is amazing to know that, because I am sure there are many people out there who lost their loved ones when they were a child without going through their grief process. They left that as a trauma behind, and today the unfulfillment or lack of joy, it can be related to their loss. And even though years or decades has passed,
Yeah.
they can still go back through that point and start their grieving process. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing
Yeah.
it.
And nowadays we know also there is something called transgenerational trauma. So in other words, some people say it's, oh, I'm not sure what happened. I personally don't remember things, but we know something called transgenerational trauma. So it might not even be something you experience in your life, but it is something that your parents, your grandparents experience, and they not having the resource that they have, they were not able to process and release their grief. Nowadays, with the new technology, we know that when somebody is grieving, it changed the processing of their DNA. There is a change in their DNA methylations when someone is grieving. And we know that with generation and with passing things to generations, it's our DNA that's being passed. And so we know that with the transgenerational trauma, so if somebody's grieving, they can pass it. We see a lot of evidence from this from people who survive Holocaust, as well as people who survived here in this part of the world, North America, people who that initially was the native, the indigenous people in here, the first people, so to say. We see a lot of this, and it's coming to the next, so it's 2, 3, 4 generations down.
Yeah, and this is really something we all should work on. I really appreciate you give such a service to people with 25 years of experience. It is huge. It is something, and I hope people would reach out to you through this video as well. And I know that you wrote a book also. What is the book about, and would you like to share about the book as well?
Uh, uh, Thank you. Yes, the book is called Seeking Peace. Let me grab that here really quickly. The book is called Seeking Peace, and this is basically is to help people. We all goes through life, and it is and as we navigate life, this book is to help us navigate adversities and the challenges in life. Now, let me ask you, how many times you've gone to a conference or a lecture or something, and you hear all these good tools and tips, and then 2 weeks later, you're like, what are you talking about again?
Yeah.
Oops, I remember only one word from that, which is human nature, right? We have studies showing that we forget 97% of what we learn some 1 month later. So with Seeking Peace, it's to help you remember and apply the different tools. I simplified the tools that I have for navigating challenges and adversity into your 5 fingers. So
Mhm.
each main tool here correlate with one of your fingers, make it a lot easier to remember. It's also make it a lot easier to apply. And it is called Seeking Peace, the proven 5 fingers method to thrive through change effortlessly. It's everything that I do is evidence-based. Even though it is about grief, it's usually through studies with my scientific mind. I choose to have everything that I do evidence-based through different studies in university and so forth. So, and the book is available on Amazon in every country.
Okay, thank you for sharing this. And before we going through the G100 experience, is there any particular tool that you can gift us to experience in our daily life?
Thank you. I would say if there are two tools with my own life experience and my clients' experience, is to do two things in general. First, know that there is hope. Sometimes we are going through things and we try it one after another and after another and after another, and we feel that, oh gosh, I've tried 12 different counseling or this or that, and there is no hope anymore. But particularly in this day and age, I think it is Thomas Edison who says, when you think you have done and tried everything, you have not.
Yeah, I love that.
And so if you've tried something and it hasn't been working, if you tried one modality of work and it's not helping, and you tried a different person and a different person, but it's not working, tried something different altogether. Even when I was in clinic with oncology, if everything I do is not working, I said, you know what, probably should try a second opinion, or completely different approach. And once in a while we have that. We have patients who, let's say, cannot tolerate medications at all, and they say, okay, well, I'm just going to go and try something else. And the allopathic medicine doctor in me said, oh, yeah, what have you? But at the same time, so I'm open-minded enough. And some of this, they beat the odds, so to say, by far. So please know that there is hope. Just give a try to something that you have not tried. And so that is one. And then the second thing is to allow support. And it is something that in my own experience, as well as everybody, if you know, many times, particularly when it comes something so personal with our life, it's kind of like, it's easy if you have a work project to say, hey, can I have somebody help me with this? But when it's something so personal, sometimes we want to keep it personal. And at the same times, if we allow skillful, correct support, it will allow you to be able to break through what you haven't been. And the truth at the bottom of everything is, if we know how to do it, we would have done it. And if we have not, and if you have tried, then perhaps it's time to allow support, and a different kind of support.
Yeah, I think that's amazing to remind of, because most of the time, well, even for myself, I help people, I help myself, I help people around me about things, but still sometimes I feel like, okay, what should I do next? Because it is important to know that you are a specialist in your field, but even for you or for me, about my expertise, it's okay to receive support even in our own expertise also is quite important, which is you were mentioning um, about people who doesn't have their expertise on this field. And that's also, even if you can have support on your expertise, let others have support with different fields, different expertises in different fields.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you for sharing all those important things with us. So, can you share how did you come up? How did you get into G100, and how your journey is going? How has it been going since 5 years, I think, no?
Thank you. Yes. The initial my initial associations with G100 actually at that time, Old Ladies Network, Women Economic Forum, is somebody reached out to me and invited me to learn more about this as well as to go to connect and network and speak in the UK, in London. And so at that time, I said, well, it looks like an interesting group, and the persons was very cordial, very kind, and very welcoming and extremely accommodating as well. And so I said, well, okay, let me check it out. I have never been at the time to London anyway, so why not go to London at the same time, right? And check out London. Of all things, at least I got to see London. And so I went to London, and it was and went to this event and share my message there. And in there, I actually met Mar, the global chairs, our global chairs of G100 Global Networking. And we were in the same panel of speaking, speaking about the same topic. And Mara was very friendly, and that was then. And I know Mara also active in G100s more than or in all ladies leagues, women economic forums more than I do. So I think it's about a year or two later, Mar reached back out to me and shared with me about G100. And I said, oh, it seems like a good initiative. So I love the connectivity, the nonprofit, non-governmental approach, and so forth, and the visions and the missions as well. And she said, yes, can you be the US country chair?
Huge count.
And and I say, yeah, I don't know about that. And thanks to Martha and her tenacity, I think it took her about at least 6 months, probably actually a year, about of convincing. And I continue to give her a multitude of reasons. There is that, there is, oh, well, yeah, yes, I will get to that. And I never did. And Mara said, knock, knock. What happened? What happened? And thanks to Mara and her tenacities, I finally get my act together, I would say, and become the United States National Chair of G100 Global Networking.
Um, it's an amazing story that she convinced you, even though it took long. It's a honor to have you, or you have us. I don't know about it, but it's great to be together. And what was the most impressive thing for you to see in G100 community? Like, what really convinced you to join?
Thank you for
Besides
beautiful
Mar.
questions. And I would say the one thing that for sure is the 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 supportiveness, the sisterhood and the brotherhood, the feelings of welcoming and belonging. And it is some things that there are a lot of groups out there. And sometimes you can feel so much exclusivity, so to say, and a lot of competitions even within the group. And with the G100, with the leader, with the beautiful example from our leader, Dr. Harbin Arora, she's so kind, she's so beautiful, a beautiful person inside and out, that is just it's an epitome of togetherness in creating something even better. And that is something that I consistently see with this community of, even from the different chapters. I work with different chapters. I work with Honorable Victoria Bulge and Violeta Bulge, and all different chapters, different systems. Somebody who was with us before, Dr. Anita. It is beautiful collaborations, cohesiveness, and all with the beautiful example from our leader, Dr. Aurora, as well as Mar.
Thank you for sharing. And as the US country chair, um, what are your challenges and what are your visions? What would you like to share with us about your experience?
Thank you. To answer the first questions, the regions, part of the challenge as well. The US is such a sizable place. And so to help with that, I actually a lot the structures of the G100 typically is national chair, states chair, and then city chairs. But given the size, the sheer physical size of the US alone, the what we do here is actually we have regional chairs because I know all the states is just plenty of them. And so in here in the US, to help with the sheer size, we have the national chair, regional chairs, and then from there we have state chairs and beyond. And so that is one challenge that thankfully both Mar and Dr. Aurora allow me to navigate by creating. So US has Western, Central, and Eastern region, and then the states. That would be the first challenge that when I first agree with this, and the other challenge would be here. I think the US in the Western country, but particularly here, perhaps in the US, we are so driven to keep running and to be productivity to the points of we go 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 go. The way Mar says it's so it's everybody is just so busy all the time, and everybody seems to have 20 different things on two plates. And with that, it can be a little bit of a navigations to find an opportunity where we could even, for instance, synchronize our schedule or something like that to an event because somebody has 15 things booked 15 months in advance. And so that is one thing where we have it's in the everybody has so busy and so has so many things trying to be as productive as we possibly able to. And so that is that. And there is a little bit, sometimes a little bit of a slightly different ideology as well and so forth that in general apply to the majority. But for people who are I would say the tip of the arrow, so to say, which is G100 communities, the tip of the arrow were together here, even though we're the tip of the arrow to create a change in the world. It's not as applicable, but to be able to sift through, to sift through to this to meet the person who are the tip of this the arrow where it's not everything is about financial or not so strongly influenced by politics or something. It takes a little bit of extra work perhaps to sift through to discover and meet the person who are the tip of the arrow and a beautiful can become a beautiful candidate of the G100 and global networking community.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for sharing all those amazing things. Is there anything else you would like to mention that I forgot to ask, but you are willing to support others or share about yourself, how people can reach you out for their grief process, or if they are willing to join G100 as I don't know, in US chairs or wings. We have a lot of people. And it's important to mention that we are not only expecting women to join us, but we are also welcoming men standing next to us. So if there are people who want to join G100 or have support from you, how can they how they can reach you out?
Yes, yes, absolutely. In general, in either case, you can connect with me through multiple different venue. The easiest one way would be to connect with me through my website, and that is Joyful Riches beyondgrief.com. Riches means like a full spectrum riches, so full spectrum rich life. So Joyful Riches beyondgrief.com. And if you're coming with an interest of the G100, that's perfectly fine. The appointment there will share what will ask what you here for, and you simply say I'm here for G100, and I will be just as delighted to speak with you. You can also email me directly. It's on the bottom of this Zoom screen here. dr10forgrief.com is my direct email, so you jump through the hoop to get to me directly. And the same thing, it is whether for G100 or for if you welcoming support for you or your loved one. And the other part is you can also connect with me on Facebook, Burjit Pony 10. And there is only, thankfully, one Burjit Pony 10 on Facebook. And so you can connect with me on Facebook as well for our brothers and sisters. And everyone who would love to connect with me, feel welcome to connect with me there or message me directly.
Thank you, Bridget. I think we can share these connections through comments or show notes. So people can reach you out through this website in case there are typing mistakes. We
Yeah.
will make sure that they can reach you out easily. And I guess that's it. We are wrapping it up here. Is there any final words you would like to mention?
Thank you. Thank you. I would say for the G100 and for everyone, it has always been an honor and a delight to be of service. And in whichever capacity I see every human here with a purpose that we serve in one way or another. And thank you for the honor and delight to be able to be of service to you in whatever capacity that it feels best to you. And I would also say in there, I would say, I would repeat the what I said previously, that we know that this is being an example. This community is being an example of support. There is always support. There's always support, and therefore there is always hope.
That's an amazing final. Thank you, Bridget, for being a big part of this community and supporting people either they're in the community or not. And all right, everyone, thank you for listening to us. And today you met one of the wonderful member of our team, G100, the US chair, Bridget. And we would love to see you joining us, or if you need support as women, as human beings, we are here for you. And have a lovely day. May joy be with you.
Thank you.